Plaintiff Ikea Jenkins says the defendant is her father, but since he left home when she was 3 years old, they have never had much of a relationship. Ikea claims she and her son moved in with the defendant, but once he found out she was pregnant, he assaulted her, kicked her out, and then had her falsely arrested. She's suing him today for unreturned property. Defendant Leslie Jenkins says the reason he didn't have a relationship with Ikea was because her mother kept her from him. Leslie claims while living together, Ikea called the police on him 3 times, but she was ultimately arrested because she robbed him.
Start with you.
Well, Judge, this all started from when I was younger. Me and my father really never had a relationship, and it's just like when you get a helping hand from someone like your father, you would expect for them not to knock you down when they see you start to stand up on your feet. We just never had a relationship.
Explain some of the things you're referring to.
For instance, as a kid, he walked out when I was 3 years old. He even took and put his wife's kids before his own kids. So
What do you mean by knock you down?
He see me trying to get myself together. And for him just to turn around and toss my son's belongings out that
So you're
I
referring
have
to
worked.
this incident when you say that?
Yes.
All right. And you want to give me some background?
Yes, Your Honor. What actually happened was I was in the military. I was in the Coast Guard. When she was born, I was already in the Coast Guard. The mother kept us apart. She refused to allow visitation. So when
I don't want to hear all that. You don't need to tell me why you
This is
divorced
why-
her parent. Go ahead and tell me what you're suing him for today. Mom.
Well, I have a breakdown of a list right
Tell
here.
me what happened.
Well, basically, I moved in with my father
When?
in 2014 in May, and we was both going through a situation. So when he had got an opportunity to get his own place, he offered out the helping hand to let me stay with him because I had a situation going on as well. And his only 2 rules was basically I had to either work or be in school. I couldn't basically sit around the house and do nothing. So I made that happen. I went to school for auto mechanic.
And she couldn't have any company.
Then on top of that, after I
Why
was
do you
about
want to
to,
have company?
Because she had already had a baby who the father was absent. I didn't want any guys in my house.
Oh, you said guys, you mean.
I'm sorry, that is incorrect.
You said company because
Yes.
That's
ladies are
incorrect.
company also. You told her you didn't want
Yes.
guys to come over.
No,
over
I
your
told her
home.
I didn't want her to have company.
He never said I couldn't have company. His agreement was if I wasn't paying rent, then I couldn't have company. As long as I gave him rent, then I could have company.
She never
But
did.
nevertheless, I moved in with him and I bought my son a whole bunch of belongings. I gave it was 1-bedroom apartment. So I made what little space we had into something personal for my son so that he can have his own space. So after he found out that I was pregnant in December, he felt like I shouldn't be making adult decisions. He wanted me to terminate my pregnancy, which was not gonna happen.
Never mentioned.
And nevertheless, he, got upset about who I was dating, who was the father, and then it escalated from there. And once he seen, the father of my child standing at the door one day, because he was going to the store for me, and he was standing at the door playing with my son, he immediately came in the house and was just like, you have to leave.
Were you paying rent?
Yes, I was, and I have a letter that states that too.
Okay. All right. Was she paying rent?
No. The system gave me $117 a month, and out of that $117, $45 of it went to her cell phone bill.
She was paying rent.
She
Go
didn't
ahead.
pay anything.
The system paid her rent.
Even took and put his wife's kids before his own kids. So
What do you mean by knock you down?
Plaintiff Ikea Jenkins says the defendant is her father, and she claims after he found out she was pregnant, he assaulted her.
Go ahead.
So once he told me that I had to move, it escalated from there. That
How
same
much
day.
notice did he give?
That was the same day. It wasn't a 30-day
You
notice
said you
at
have
all.
to move next month? Or?
No, he said you have to move immediately. And that same day, he got on the phone and called the maintenance people to try to come change the locks.
And what happened?
I told him, you can't do that without giving me a key. Like, you can't just change the locks on me and think that I'm not gonna get a key. He was like, yes, I can because I own a property. I was like, that doesn't apply. So what I did was I kindly called the police station and asked for a cop to come over so that he can explain to him that he can't do that. So the cop came over and explained to him, it doesn't matter if you own a property or not. You cannot change the locks and not give her a key. So he took that and he said, okay, but then he still proceeded and added another lock on the door. Did not give me a key, left. I was locked out. And he also went to the police station and made a false report, had me locked up. They detained me for
what?
10 hours. He said I robbed him.
She did.
What happened with the investigation? And
They
did
threw it
finish?
out because when they called him to come in, he said he was coming and never came.
All right.
And they detained me for 10 hours.
Okay. So you want to give me your version of these events?
Yes. In December, her and I sat down and talked because that's when she finally told me she was 4 or 5 months pregnant. We said, we agreed she would be moving in February after her son's 2nd birthday.
That's incorrect.
I came home in January on New Year's Day and saw the boyfriend coming out of my place. I
No.
told her, you know you have to move. She got mad thinking I'm saying you got to move now. So she
that's
started
what he
slamming stuff around and acting crazy because this is what she does. She called the cops and told the cops, oh, he hit me and I'm pregnant. So I went downstairs, I got in my car, I drove around the front of the building, I waited for the police to come. When the officers came, I explained to them what was going on. They were like, we've been here on several occasions over this, you know.
Over what?
Because we were having disturbances all the time. It became a routine thing. So I knew the procedure. I'm going downstairs. I'm not running from them. I don't have anything
Ma'am,
to
how many
hide.
times had the police come regarding you and your father?
4 times.
They only came 3 times.
Who
and
was
then
calling
the
you?
situation,
Who was
I
calling you?
called.
You called 3 times? Why you
Yes.
living with him about what?
The first time I called was to have the cops come and explain to him. The second time I called, that was when he put his hands on me. He assaulted me, and I have the police report from that. I also had got a temporary order protection on him for him putting his
police
hands on
came
me.
that
Yes, the police came that day.
So that was, he hit you twice?
Yes, and I have
2
both.
different
I have
incidents?
yes, I have both police reports from that.
Okay. All right. And what else you want me to know, sir? You said she thought you were telling her to move immediately, but you weren't. You talked about the police incidents, and what were you telling her, and what did happen regarding the locks?
She slammed some stuff around for a while. I went downstairs, I met the officers, we came back upstairs and we talked. The cops were saying, you can't do this and you can't do that. And there's order of protection and you have your space and she has her space. Yeah, okay, whatever. I leave the house. When I get down the road a little, I realize, oh, sure, I gotta go back, my wallet. I don't have my wallet. So I come back, I'm trying to get my wallet. My wallet is missing and the spare key to my car. The Mercedes-Benz key is $500, easy.
So what happens after that, sir?
After that, I leave. My mother is sick. She lives in Middletown, New York. I'm driving upstate and the cops call me, oh, we have her arrested, because I did go and do a police report. They said, we have her, you need to come in. I was saying, I'm headed to Middletown to go take care of my mother
about
now.
the locks? Because that's what I'm about to get back about the property. You're not suing about a wallet, so we're not gonna go any further with that.
The things that she's suing for,
No, I wanna know about what happened with these locks.
when she was arrested, she must have lost her keys because she came back to the
Okay,
house.
so you never changed the locks?
I never changed
That's
the
my
locks.
point.
I'm sorry,
Okay,
that's a lie.
good enough. You're gonna have to prove that he did.
Plaintiff Ikea Jenkins says the defendant is her father, and she claims after he found out she was pregnant, he assaulted her.
Do you have any proof that he changed the locks?
I had to actually get a locksmith to bust the door down.
You have any evidence of any of this?
I actually lost the receipt for the locksmith.
Well, he denies any of that, and I don't know who to believe regarding being locked out until you tell me about what happened with your property. Maybe that'll
Yes.
give me some more insight.
Yes.
What happened with your property?
So after they let me out from the precinct from being detained for 10 hours, I actually went back to the house, tried to get in, and my key actually broke off in the door because the main lock was changed. So I called him. He did not answer the phone. So afterwards, I went upstairs to my boyfriend's house and I stayed the night up there. My son was at my mother's house for the night. So after that, I came back the next day, called him. Are you gonna come open the door? No, and hung up the phone on me. So after that, I called the cops and I asked them, I said, now he changed the locks on me and he's not here. Do I have the right to get a locksmith to knock down the door? They said, how long have you been living there? I told them almost 2 years.
Do you have any evidence to any of this you're telling me about?
No.
So let's get back to your property.
Yes.
You tried and you called him. You said, can I come get my property? He said no.
Yes.
Then what happened?
It was the same day when I got in the house. And
How did you get in?
they broke down the door,
Who?
the locksmith.
Okay.
So once I got in, I took whatever I can take as far as my clothes and my clothes that my son needs. And the things that I left behind is the things that I couldn't carry, which are my son's bed, a car seat, a bike, TV, a scooter, and my tool sets and my son's toy chest.
Let me have that list. And when is the last time you asked for your items?
Never.
The last time I asked him,
Yes, ma'am.
I actually contacted him on Facebook.
What did he say?
He never answered me.
Okay. You have that Facebook communication?
Yes.
Sir, let me hear from you.
She never contacted me on Facebook about anything. She has my telephone number. If she
Got
wanted
it. I heard you. You don't have to go through all that. All right. She never contacted you on Facebook.
So I
regarding
was
anything.
evicted from the property because of the cops being called so many times. When I went to talk to them about,
Where are her things?
right here, they in my house.
Her items are?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. You can keep them. $3,924 is your judgment, and he's going to keep the items. That's a good deal. Have a good day.
And there's no longer a father-daughter relationship. As far as I'm concerned, he's nothing to me.
I'm happy with that. I can't continue to back and forth with her. She's been put out by every one of her siblings. She put out by her mother. She put out by me twice. We can't. Nobody wants to deal with it. She's with her mother now. She'll be out of there soon.
False.